What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Stella Herself podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Don't forget to subscribe to my Patreon because I've been doing an additional members-only episode on there every week as well. And you can get also just exclusive merch discounts, and also you can listen to the episodes ad-free. So something that I think has been a really big theme for me this year, and something that I've been thinking about a lot this past week, is that everything starts from within. The way that you feel about yourself and the way that you want your life to go is how your life is going to go. And this hits so many different genres of self-help. You could look at this from a psychological, therapy standpoint. Your childhood trauma sometimes is running the show, and if you have some deep-seated belief that you're not worthy, then that's what you're going to continue to live out. And then you could also look at this from a law of attraction point of view and a more spiritual point of view of, it has to start with you. You need to have the feeling of what it is that you want before you get what it is that you want. I've really personally been on my level up vibe. It has really just been paying off. I just feel this really newfound sense of confidence. And for example, I went to this event by myself last week, and this was something probably in the past I would not have wanted to do if I didn't have anyone to go with me, because I don't know, I would feel shy or oh my god, who am I going to talk to? What if it's awkward? And I just went, and it was so fun. I talked to so many new people. When you just have confidence in yourself and you are experiencing something for yourself, you just don't care as much because you're not placing the emphasis on somebody else's opinion of you. Therefore, you're more in control. Even though when you're on the opposite side of that, and it's almost like you're trying to control other people's perceptions of you because you want to feel approval, it's that's never going to work. So it's almost like you have to give up that fake sense of control to actually be in control. The more that you focus on yourself, the more everything else will fall into place. And people can really tell. I've just been living my life recently, and it's like a snowball effect. Other people will see on my story or something that I'm having fun or doing this, doing that, and then they want to hit me up. The amount of random people that hit me up this past weekend just because they saw I was out or having a good time or looking cute or whatever. It's kind of damn. You have to be the one to set the tone and decide how things are going to go. And this applies to all aspects of your life. And I think it's just really important to remember that everything's a gradual process. If you want to make changes to your life, you want to switch up, how you feel about yourself, you want to level up, you want better experiences just in general, it's a gradual process. But once you start feeling that magic and, you get a little taste of that flow state or synchronicities start happening, again, that's also kind of like a snowball effect because you'll feel it, so you'll lean into it, and then more and more will happen. And dating too, if you care about yourself more and your own opinion of yourself and your own standards more than what this random or someone that you're dating, what their opinion of you is, that's only going to work in your favor, because you will make decisions that support your best interest, and you won't instead be kind of thirsting for their opinion or their approval. Don't be in that, I just want to say, for lack of a better term, thirsty mindset of I need to make plans. I need to do this. I need to do that. Especially as it's summer and more people are posting that they're out and about or traveling or doing this and that. And if you're feeling FOMO or left out, instead of thirsting, or even just within yourself, you have that kind of FOMO energy. Literally the best thing to do, the answer is to focus on yourself. Start going to the gym. Go through your closet. Make a little mood board. When you think about it, there's really so many things you could constantly be doing. And it's not about being unsatisfied or ungrateful with your current circumstances. But if you are kind of feeling that lack feeling, it's not really that you need to gain something, unless it's wisdom or something like that. But it's more so let's redirect the energy to create the change, to feel good about ourselves and our lives and to be fulfilled and do what we actually want to do. And this just allows you so much freedom in your day and in your time. If you have to work and stuff, you could focus on changing that too, especially having freedom as a woman to do what it is that you want, hang out with who you want, spend energy on people that you actually want to spend energy with, instead of kind of doing it from a lack mindset or I need them to like me or else type way. It's really so freeing. I talked about this in last week's episode just as far as marriage goes, which That episode got so many people mad, like so many guys mad. It reached like red pill algorithm on TikTok and Instagram. I'm like, thanks for the views, but these are not the views I want. They were going off in the comments. The keys, y'all, have been to focus on myself, focus on grounding my energy. So for the first one, I would say just making decisions that completely benefit me. Sometimes it might feel selfish, but you just have to really like listen to your intuition. Do I actually want to do this? Do I actually want to say yes to this? Do I need to sleep tonight? Do I need to push myself, you know? And then number 2, really grounding my energy. It's been a few weeks now where I've been meditating every day upon waking up. I've probably missed like 2 or 3 days. And then I think also reading that book, The Power of Strangers, that has made like the biggest difference also. So all of these things, it's like, okay, I'm making decisions that support my best interest. I'm actively working every day on calming my mind and just being grounded. Literally made the biggest difference, you guys, like actually insane. And then I read this book that has inspired me to just become a lot more comfortable at talking to people and making conversation and not being scared. All of these things have helped my anxiety so much, social anxiety, and I just feel so much more grounded and able to tap into the more magic, law of attraction, flow state, creative state type energy, because I'm focusing on the foundation of it all, which is in order to feel my best, these are the things I have to do. On top of that, I'm also going to work at actively quieting my mind, grounding myself at the beginning of each day. A majority of my energy is going to myself and what I want to do. And these things really just go into everything else. You know, whether you're dating, making new friends, if you are on a new career path, if you're just trying to find what your passions are. Just having that solid foundation of self-trust, a calm, just stable mind, a healthy body, getting enough sleep, eating good, you know, don't have too much caffeine, drink enough water. Everything else just becomes so much more clear. And I would say some good places to start if you're feeling stuck, uninspired, maybe you don't even know where to begin in your level up journey. You're like, what is next? What is it that I want? Because sometimes when you know exactly what it is you want, it's easier to work towards it because you know what it is. But if you're just in that stuck feeling, there's little things you can do every day. So I would really, y'all, if you have anxiety of any kind, even if you don't, but especially if you have anxiety, start with 10 minutes, go to 20. I'm like up to 20 now most days. I want to get like even higher. A meditation upon waking up. Do not go on your phone first thing. Just do that. I like to lay on the floor, a blanket, my yoga mat. The results are honestly shocking. How instantly, like upon even the first week, what a big difference I felt. And then just doing little things throughout your day to switch things up, like taking a different route, trying a different coffee shop than you normally go to. If you don't work out, start working out. If you normally work out at this time, try going at this time. And the book I talked about, I read earlier this year, Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. He talks about doing this in order to just switch things up, you know, creatively. And even if you're just trying to figure out your life, like doing these things will just create new, you know, links in your brain and literally change things up. And you'll be able to see things from a new perspective. Try making conversation with a random, the person making your coffee, taking your order. And then you'll start to feel more connected to your community, more connected to yourself. You'll start to kind of overcome any social anxiety or even just regular anxiety. You'll start to trust yourself more, and then just, again, it's a snowball effect. So more and more things will begin to happen. But I think the ultimate point is to focus on you. If you're tripping, like, okay, why isn't this person texting me back? Does this person like me? Da-na-na-na-na. It's like, okay, but what do I want? But yeah, I've been doing all these things and I've just been feeling a lot more calm and self-confident and just way less bothered. I feel like I take stuff way less personally. And I just feel like I'm spreading good vibes everywhere I go. You just have more ideas and you just feel calmer and like more chill. And therefore you make better decisions because you're coming again from that foundation of like, okay, I can handle this. You're not like working in this frazzled, stressed, anxious, you know, high cortisol, adrenaline, fight or flight mind state, should we say, and making decisions is just a lot easier. I read something too, I think from the holistic psychologist, I think this was on Instagram, but she's like, try making decisions without asking people what you should do first, And therefore you build self-trust, and it's just easier to make decisions in the future. So that's another thing you could do. But I do think it's just very important to remember that life is always changing. Nothing is forever. So much is out of our control. We do have a lot that we can adjust to be aligned. And there's really nothing like that synchronicity flow feeling, you know? And again, just like a calm mind and body. But focusing on that, because that's something you can actually do. Whenever in the past, especially when it comes to dating and stuff, because we're going to talk about that next, but especially in the past when I was younger, you know, talking to someone and trying to figure out, like, oh, what should I do? Like, oh my God, what should I say? Like, what's their vibe? What do they think of me? You're putting all this energy into something that kind of isn't going to get you anywhere. Versus if you're just like, okay, I'ma do me though. Putting all that energy back into yourself, you're going to attract people who respect you because they see that you respect yourself, and people that actually like you, because I feel like especially with dating men, and I've said this on this podcast before, but if you feel confused about a man, it's probably because he doesn't like you. So getting into this, because I feel like this is kind of connected, especially as far as a level up journey and attracting better guys and just quality men if you are going to date men. Y'all have seen, I'm sure, this past week on TikTok, the whole like Monet mcmichael and her, like, no offense, like, it's like I don't want to talk shit because I honestly think she seems so sweet. I love her content. Like, if there's anyone that deserves success, it's her, because she has such high quality content. She just is the perfect vibe for like a brand, you know? She's just so like smiling in all her pics, very sweet, very like, I don't know, just that still relatable, but like cute. She just seems great. And I honestly feel really bad for her that everyone's like bullying her boyfriend, because that must be like really stressful and embarrassing. And she's like, I think 9 years younger than him or something. I think she's 23, right? And he's 31, I believe. But yeah, I feel bad for her because she's like put in this position to defend her man, and like people are just dragging him, which like as they but like, don't be mean to her, guys. Like, she's 23. Y'all were never in love. Like, let's look at some of your past decisions, you know? It's like people were just, I feel bad. Like, oh my God. If you guys don't know, she's like a TikToker, and she's dating this guy that's also a content creator. And he went on this podcast, and this clip of him went viral as fuck. And he's like talking about the sprinkle movement. And he's like, men are expected to be providers. I don't believe in that. Like, why does a man have to pay for everything? I have not seen the full episode. I believe most people haven't. They've just seen this viral clip. There's been a lot of hot takes. One of the takes was, okay, he goes on his own page and is kind of pandering to his female audience, like, let's make a flower bouquet as we talk about, what was it? Let's talk about this trendy topic and like why I'm trying to be a better man. And then you're gonna go on this bro podcast and to your bro be like, why does a man have to pay though? It would be one thing if you talked about patriarchy and like, okay, men set up this system, and then talking about like literally everything that goes into it, like into gender roles, how that affects the relationship, the expectations of men versus women, domestic labor. Why are men expected to pay? Let's actually like get into that. And so then it's like, okay, this just makes sense that he feels this way. First of all, your girlfriend's way younger than you and more successful than you. You're both content creators. I already think a man being a content creator like that it's a very feminine job or like career to have. You know, he's very focused on looking good. I feel like most of his audience is probably females, you know, because he's doing like his little like morning routine with my dogs. That's like girly stuff to like, I don't know. He's on this podcast wearing like a pearl necklace. Like, babe, we get it. So the thing is, if we just lived in a world where there was no patriarchy and everyone was just free to be who they were, and it just genuinely didn't matter because there wasn't the power structure of patriarchy dictating our entire beings and existence, that would be one thing. But I feel like so often, I feel like especially in these influencer relationships, because let's be honest, it is a very feminine like job, like I said. And so always the woman in the relationship is gonna be more successful. People just want to take the girl's side. The girl is probably pretty, like we want the tips. She knows how to better relate to the audience because we have more like empathy, you know? And so the man, I feel like, will become resentful of that. And then just in general, you are the breadwinner in your relationship. If you're the one making more money, like being the woman, ultimately your man is kind of going to like resent you for that because you are emasculating him, looking through it from the lens of patriarchy. He's always, even if he says he's cool with it, he's for the most part always going to a little bit just feel like, okay, I gotta like be a little defensive. Because again, like as the man in patriarchy, you're supposed to be the breadwinner. You're supposed to be the provider. Why is your girl making more money than you? Why is your girl more successful than you if you're both doing the same job? Why does she have so many more followers than you? He's probably like thinking about all this, like, damn, my girl is almost 10 years younger than me, makes more money than me, has more followers than me, like, what am I? So of course, why would he go on there and say, yeah, I believe men should pay everything if he can't even do that because his girl is making more money than him, you know? So it makes sense. And I just think also as an audience viewer, you can't really like hate on someone for that because he's just speaking from his own personal experience. I don't want to call him a dusty. I don't know the guy. That's the reality for a lot of people. And especially if you are dating someone, obviously they have like a larger age gap. It's not like he's 31. They're not both 23 or whatever. So that's kind of like, okay, babes. When we're watching Shira 7, like Sprinkle Sprinkle, she specifically says, know your target. Like you can't talk to a man who's still young. Like, yeah, he's 31, but that's still young, you guys. Like, and I'm not saying that so much as like his relationship with Monet as just like him being a man. Like men, for the most part, from what I've been seeing, they don't really feel like they're like a man until they're 30. Most men who are 30, 31, they're not making as much as they're gonna make later. They're not where they want to be in their careers yet. It's still very young. And I know you have these like 18-year-olds on TikTok like, dating my unk. And I talked about this the other like week. And it's a 30-year-old man. Yeah, no. Like Shira specifically says he needs to be 50. Minimum. He needs to be like, if you're 25, he needs to be 50. If you actually want that kind of relationship where he's, you know, fully providing. Because he's able to. And there's that power dynamic of, oh, you're old. Like, I'm not going to talk to you unless, you know? And with this being said, I do think no matter what man you're talking to, he should be like paying. If you're dating someone younger, you can't expect them to pay all of your bills and like just buy you so much stuff and like give you money all the time. Because he probably doesn't have it like that. But I do think men should pay even if he is like closer to your age. You know, pay for the dinner, pay for your drinks, get you a gift on your birthday, you know? Like that's bare minimum shit. Like any man you're dating should be able to do at least that. If you're looking for like, oh, I want to date a full provider, you're going to have to go old because they have it like that and they want your youth. That's like our currency as women is like our looks, youth. Like, again, it's unfortunate that we live in a society, but that's the society that we live in. So if that's what you want, you got to play by those rules and take advantage of, you know, your youth, your looks, whatever it is. Like invest in yourself. It's like, of course, this 31-year-old man whose girlfriend is, again, almost 10 years younger than him, who is making more money than him, has more followers than him. They're in the same, you know, industry. Of course he's gonna come on here and say that. Like, what would you expect? A man who's making serious money? I mean, unless you're like Mr. Beast, I don't even know. But like a serious masculine man to me is not on social media like that. Like he's busy, like actually in real life with like his career and like businesses. Like, I don't know. And don't try to argue with someone like that because they're not where they want to be yet. So why would you even like take them seriously in that way? And, you know, Shira also says always like, if you're young, if you're in your early 20s, yeah, go for the cute guys, go for the hot guys, like this and that, get your heart broken, be annoyed. And then she's always like, once you get serious about this lifestyle, that's when you can start dating them a little bit older. Honestly, I was telling these stories. I went on like a couple dates with old guys just to like try them out. And Shira always says like, don't use dating apps. And I really hate dating apps, but I just kind of wanted to like see what it would be like to go on a date with guys like this old. So that was like the easiest way without having to like, okay, let me go to a place every day this week. And, like as she suggests. Anyway, this one guy was 51 and I'm just sharing this with y'all to let you know. This he was 51. the way he acted like a complete, like, frat boy. Like, you could tell this man, obviously, this is going through his midlife crisis. He had 3 kids. 2 of them are around my age. Then he has one that's, like, 19 or something. So it's just a little shocking. Because you just would think someone that, like, 51, they would just be a little more... And it obviously probably depends on the person, too. You'd think they'd be a little bit more mature, but he just literally acted like a frat boy. Like, it was crazy. Like, I just did not see him as, like, a grown... We just went on, like, a date. We went to dinner. It was very nice. We got ice cream after. It was, like, regular. I don't know. Then the next guy was 66. Very iconic. Like, he honestly was so chic. Very classy. I was a little bit uncomfortable with that one just because the age difference was very striking. And I just had never done something like that before. And we went to this, like, really chic, like, very New York place. You know, it was, like, the type of vibe where you could tell the waitress is judging you, which I'm never one to think that ever. Like, you know, I could just tell. It was like, oh my God. And again, it was just like a one date thing. But he was so classy, so chic, like, you know, got me an Uber Black XL home. It was like almost an hour drive away. Very, very nice. Didn't go anywhere, but, you know, I just kind of wanted the experience. But, like, that's who you would go for if you want, like, a full profile. And I'm not saying that's what you should do, but it's like, it's a waste, I think, of energy, a waste of breath to, like, bully this 31-year-old man who, that's young as fuck, bro. That he's not where he wants to be in his career. He doesn't feel, hopefully, like, you know, the ultimate, like, man, like, yes, I've done everything I can, like, you know, I'm sure he does very well for himself. Seems a little artsy, bro, cool. But you can't expect a bro like that to go say, yeah, men should provide, because, like, that's not where he's at in his life. I mean, you can make all the think pieces that you want, but what he said was not shocking for who he is, his age, what he does for a living, his current relationship, all that. And I just feel so bad for Monet because, again, she just seems so sweet. That's so embarrassing. People are hating on your man, and that's, like, your man. Like, you gotta defend your man, you know? And it's fine. Like, if you're young and, you know, you just want to be in love and have your cute little boyfriend, yeah, whatever, go 50-50. But as you get older and it's like, okay, let me think about marriage, kids, like, is this what I want? You have to think about it and, like, take your notes, look at the women who have done it, what do they say about it, look at the divorce rate, look at the percentage of, you know, domestic labor, and just take all of that into consideration and don't think that a, you know, young in love fairy tale is going to be forever. You know, that can be so enjoyable, but you just have to look at reality because you just don't want to be however much older with these kids and you're just kind of a lot more stuck in a situation and you just feel like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I should have, you know? And again, I talked more about that last week, but yeah, that's kind of just my overall thoughts on that. I feel like in general, I just always talk to older guys, like, not that old, like, that was, like, extreme. That was, like, I don't want to say it was a one-time thing. Like, I would do it again if, you know, it was the right circumstance. What would you guys do genuinely if you just open your For You page and it's me with a almost 7-year-old man and I'm just like, hey guys, today we're going to be doing the boyfriend tag. Kind of iconic. But I will say that just talking to guys that are a little bit older, when you present yourself as classy, you know your self-worth, all that, like, older guys definitely do know how to just take care of you better. Even if you're just on a date, like, there'll be a lot, for the most part, again, you got to make sure that you're looking very classy, have good manners, feminine, nice. They will really, like, do the most for you, and it's so nice. So then you don't even really want to date the young, cute ones because you're just going to be kind of annoyed and, like, they won't do the little things, like, I don't know, always open the door for you or just kind of get your Uber without you having to ask, did you want another bottle of wine, you know, type vibe. So if you want to be fully chic, it's like you got to date them a little bit older, but that's only if, like, you want that. But I'm just saying, if you keep kind of dating guys from the club or, like, these young random guys, it's like, it's just ultimately going to be very stressful, and it's just like, it's a man, like, at least when they're a little older, they have their life together, they have more experience, and they will know how to treat a woman. And that's like, if you want to level up, that's what you want. So it starts with you. Be a little more classy. Be feminine. Just know, like, play chess, not checkers, you know? Put yourself first, and people, especially guys, will really respect that and look good. Y'all, I went to the club. It was only for literally, like, 30 minutes. I don't even think we were there for, like, an hour. But I have not been to a club in so long. And I was just like, damn, because I'm wearing, like... And I know club attire is club attire, but I'm wearing, like, my maxi leopard skirt. I'm wearing, like, a little black tank, like, a black heel. Like, it's giving very chic, cute, like, hot summer nights, mid-July, but just, like, chic. And all these little girls in their tiny little dresses and, like, oh, my God. Like, I felt... I was like, I never dressed like this. Like, and I know I'm not even, like, that old. Like, but I'm sure some of these girls were, like, my age. Like, I wasn't there, like... Oh, I feel so old right now. I was kind of like, I don't really want to be here. This isn't my, like, vibe. But some of these girls' outfits were, like, insane. And I'm like, girl, like, you do have to be aware. A lot of girls go out to have fun with their friends and that's it. But a lot of girls go out because they want to meet a guy. And I'm just telling you right now, if that's your plan, to put on your little tiny dress, girl. Like, I was shook at some of these dresses. Especially once we left and just seeing the girls walking up. I was like, oh my God, like... This isn't chic. Because just thinking of it from the perspective of, like, if you're going out hoping to meet a guy and then that's what you look like and that this is the environment you're in, they're not going to take you serious. So be chic. I'm telling you. And I'm not saying this in, like, a slut-shamey way or, like, you know, but just literally, like, if you're just having trouble meeting the right kind of guy or a guy that is, like, very respectful and gentlemanly and things like that, and it seems to like you more, which is what we want, you just have to start, like, take it all the way back. Start with yourself. What are you wearing? What places are you going to? If you're just going out with your friends to have a good time and you don't care, like, period, obvs, like, wear whatever you want. But if you're going out to meet a guy, because I was talking to this girl and she's like, oh, like, let's go out. Like, I want to meet a guy. I'm like, girl, no, we're not going to find the kind of guy you want at the club. We need to go to, like, a chic happy hour. We need to go out for lunch. You know, that's where you find them. Because you could actually have a conversation. You can wear something chic. You just look nice. And I'm not saying that in, like, a judgmental way, but because I had this recent conversation with a girl, I was like, I want a new man, let's go to the club. I'm like, we're not gonna find the man you want there. Like, no. And it's like, of course, yeah, if you just want to hook up with somebody or whatever, but it's like, y'all will say that and then you will become attached to that man and get your feelings hurt. So let's not even go down that road. And again, I'm not saying this in, like, a judgmental or, like, a slut-shamey way, but I'm like, damn, like, how many girls are here right now because they want to meet a guy? And, like, girl, like, so yeah, focus on yourself. Level up. Everything in your life, for the most part, as much as you can, should be benefiting you. And obviously be a kind, good person, but not at the expense of yourself. Because I feel like a lot of women, you know, we're just kind of taught to be overly giving, overly empathetic, overly understanding, and it does not get us anywhere. And people expect us to put them before us. No more. And if you have confidence, you can let people down in a kind way. You don't have to be nice. You can be kind, but firm. You know who's honestly, like, so chic and, like, good at this is Brie from Desperate Housewives. Like, watching this, I'm like, she knows how to say no in, like, a classy way. For the most part. I mean, there's probably some examples. But, like Lynette, for example, will, like, say yes when she doesn't mean it and, like, awkwardly laugh and just kind of make it, like, uncomfortable. But Brie will just be like, no. Anyway, I also got some new books. I know y'all love when I talk about books. Shout out to the girl that recommended this book, Park Avenue Summer. It's a novel. I forget who you are, but you told me about this months ago. I finally put it on hold and, like, got it. I think there was a lot of, like, requests on it. But she said this book was very chic, like, takes place in New York. So this is my novel. And then I also got this book, Hidden Potential, The Science of Achieving Greater Things by Adam Grant. I believe I read one of his other books earlier this year or maybe last year. So this is, like, my nonfiction. So I'm going to start these. I literally picked them up today. So by next week's episode, I should be able to tell y'all some tea and all of that. Of course, you can follow me on Goodreads if you want the updates. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know your thoughts on anything I discussed down below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, everyone.